Our next guest, Michael Hayden, is a former director of both the CIA and the National Security Agency. He's also the author of a new book, The Assault on Intelligence, American National Security in an Age of Lies. He's also a principal at the Chertoff Group here in Washington. What do you mean an age of lies?
We have moved into what the Oxford Dictionary describes as a post-truth world. Margaret, I look at the problem in kind of three layers. And frankly, the first problem is us. It's the broader society. It's our social discourse or lack of social discourse. We're making decisions based not on facts and data, but on emotion, preference, grievance, loyalty, tribalism. We have a president who recognized that as a candidate, exploited it as a candidate, and frankly, I think worsens it as a president by some of the things he says and does. And then finally, we've got a foreign power coming in, recognizing and exploiting both one and two above. And it's all based on our moving away from basing our lives, our decisions, our dialogue on a view of objective reality rather than preference.
Why do you think that this is now coming up? I mean, as an intelligence professional, you've been analyzing these kind of issues around the world. In this book, you talk about advice you've given to other professionals who are considering joining the Trump administration, and you're telling them don't do it. But don't you need more professionals at a time like this?
You do. And I kind of take that for only folks at the very highest level, because I don't know that they're going to have much influence. I look at the experience of H.R. McMaster, for example, who tried as hard as he could to connect decision-making to the normal processes of fact-based governance, and I think he left because he failed. Now, I want the other folks, the ones I describe as below decked with an oar, and they should just be rowing. Be there, do your duty. Make this president as successful as you can. But here's the punchline. You have got to preserve not just your integrity, obviously, but you've got to preserve your institution in the face of the pressures that it's under at the present time.
Let me ask you about some of those comments the president has made about the institutions of intelligence. You've taken issue with his very public criticism of the intelligence community, including his repeated reference to the 9/11 attacks, missed signals there, faulty weapons of mass destruction intelligence in Iraq. You were in key intelligence roles at that time. Isn't some of his skepticism warranted?
Absolutely. And I would be the first to tell you, should have done better there. I was in the room when we voted on the weapons of mass destruction national intelligence estimate. But Margaret, that's of a pattern with regard to the president when it comes to decision-making, explaining his policies or defending his policies. He doesn't come at you with data. He doesn't come at you with evidence. He comes at you with attempting to delegitimize those who would agree with him. So it's the fake news, the lying media, intelligence with quotes in it, political hacks in terms of John Brennan and Jim Clapper. That's the essence of post-truthism. You don't take the matter on based upon an argument as to what reality is. In fact, reality doesn't matter very much. You just discredit those who disagree with you.
And yet he is trying to appoint a career intelligence official, Gina Haspel, to run the CIA. You've given her a full-throated endorsement there. But I want to ask you, she was chief of base at a CIA black site in Thailand where at least 12 tapes were made of some call it torture, enhanced interrogation techniques. Those were destroyed in 2005. I think you were at the DNI at that point in time. Do you think those tapes should have been destroyed? Because this is a huge issue that could hold up her confirmation.
Yeah. As a matter of policy, it was against guidance. Legally, there were no legal prohibitions against it. But you bring up Gina, and that's a great question. I mean, we can relitigate the past of CIA. We've done that before. But if you want to do that, then it should be directors and attorney generals and members of Congress and presidents. Why I want Gina in there now is based upon the conversation you and I just had. All right? With a president who does not always attach his decisions to the real world, to data, to evidence, Gina Haspel is the one woman I want in that room when everyone else will be going into north-south Autobahn and saying, "You're right, boss." Gina Haspel won't.
She'll be dedicated.
Absolutely not. Her only existence as a professional has been within the agency. Her only goal is to live out the agency's mission, which frankly is to tell the truth to the president, even though most often that makes the president's life less comfortable than it would otherwise be.
Very quickly, will that repair his relationship with the intelligence community?
Her choice, she is a wonderful choice. Now, the question becomes, can she succeed where perhaps HR did not,
right,
which was connecting that to the actual decision.
Okay. General Hayden, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.